This is very, very important. This front page is important, fills me with pride, calling out CNN for something that is hypocritical in the extreme. Without lecturing to the choir here, I just want to point out a couple of very brief things. I've written 2 books in the last 2 years on this issue. Hispanic, Why Americans Fear Hispanics in the U.S., and more recently, The Great Progression, How Hispanics Will Lead the United States to a New Era of Prosperity. But one of the aspects of our reality in the United States now is the defamatory tone of the immigration debate and how that immigration debate has slandered an entire race of people. It has been reckless beyond imagining. It has been reckless in a way that is beyond precedent. Lou Dobbs, a man who was an accomplished journalist and who left to go and start his own venture in the digital media having to do with space, I believe, and then came back to CNN and nobody was watching his program. He discovered that one of the ways to get people to watch was to make of the image of a young Latino trying to get into this country a profoundly negative icon. Lou Dobbs is almost single-handedly responsible for creating, for being the architect of the young Latino as scapegoat for everything that ails this country. Remember what life was like here before 9/11 for Latino immigrants. It was an amazingly positive time. George W. Bush, a former border state governor, had been elected president. He was in his first year. Vicente Fox, the new and energetic and intelligent president of Mexico, was reaching out to Bush in a way to normalize the reality of trans-border life. Then the attacks came. The United States did what the United States always does in the face of a foreign threat. We hunkered down. We raised money. We mobilized the troops. But ironically, the bitter irony is that, driven by hate mongers like Lou Dobbs, instead of spending that money, instead of letting these forces, these anti-terror forces, do their job against people who threaten our way of life, this tremendous power, this tremendous resource was unleashed to make miserable the lives of ordinary working people who were only seeking what all of us want, what our parents wanted, our grandparents, the American dream. It has been one of the most frustrating experiences of my professional life to watch as a good portion of the American people began to listen and believe that immigrants were responsible for crime in this country, responsible for bringing terror to this country, responsible for stealing jobs, responsible for affecting in a very negative way the American way of life. These, as I've proven in my work, as I prove on my TV program night after night, are lies. These are canards. These are if anything, the undocumented come and they contribute to this. Look how they have revitalized cities like Passaic and Paramus, and you go up Broadway now, or my old stomping ground, Lexington Avenue, around 111th Street. There has been an amazing rejuvenation of the American spirit and the American society driven by Latino immigrants. And to say, as that reality is working its way out in the great tradition of America, the immigrant nation, to be faced with this kind of hatred, this kind of odio, this kind of slander, where you have children, citizen-born children. Puerto Ricans are citizens. We don't have a dog in this fight, in the immigration fight, but we really do, because one, we are Latinos. Two, more importantly, this putrid fog that these hate mongers have created is affecting our children as well. There are countless incidents, and I can recount them to you. I can tell you one quick story. I'm on live Fox Radio. I remember the morning so well. I get a call from a dad in Portland, Oregon, Portland, this center of liberal America. And the dad is extremely upset, and he wants to tell me a story. I say, okay, tell me your story. I have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, he tells me, born citizens in the United States. The young man came here when he was 1 or 2 years old. His parents were undocumented immigrants, but the parents got their green cards, ultimately worked their way to legality. The father who was calling me was a citizen of the United States, a naturalized citizen. His children, 5 and 7, were born here. The kids were coming home crying from school. The dad says, what's the matter? The kids say, we're being called border jumpers in our schools. This is kindergarten and 2nd grade. There's a new pejorative, border jumper. It's something that is affecting all of us. It is something that we absolutely said no mas during the election of November of 2008. It is the reason Mitt Romney, a turncoat as far as I'm concerned on the issue of compassionate immigration, comprehensive immigration reform. It's the reason he lost to John McCain in Florida. Those Cubans down there said, wait a second, he can't insult us in Iowa and then ask for our vote in Florida. They voted for McCain. It's why McCain was the nominee, and it's why Obama is elected now. He is the first, I maintain, Latino president. He's the first brown president. Why? He could be, and he looks Puerto Rican. And the point is that he would not be president but for the Latino vote, and the Latino vote was, for the first time in my lifetime, an expression of a community understanding its responsibilities, getting up, going to the polling place, and saying, no mas, no more of these lies, no more of this slander, no more of this stereotyping. And I can tell you proudly, when this man was widely rumored to be coming to my network, I called my boss a couple of weeks ago, and he said it's absolutely untrue. Lou Dobbs is not coming to Fox News. He belongs, let CNN, if they can justify his presence there, that's their problem. But I applaud this effort. I applaud all of us standing together on this crucial issue. Let's dissipate the lies. No mas mentiras. Let's tell the truth about how we're a vital cog in this country, the largest minority in this country, the United States heading toward an ultimate majority status for Latinos by the end of this century. That is the reality of the people in this room. There's plenty of work to do, particularly in the aspect of educating our youngsters. But we know the truth, and we will stand against the liars. Thank you.